I think we are live. Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Katie, and I am a creative embodiment coach. Today, we're talking about the number one thing to remember about designing your creative morning routines. And I am in the midst of facilitating a 30-day routine training with a bunch of amazing women who are going on this adventure with me. And so there's so many things that are coming up and little tidbits and lessons that I'm getting to see lived and learned through the women that I'm teaching and training right now. And so some of those big ahas and lessons I'm going to be sharing here with you and in all of my social media places. But this is my longer format space. So if you're wanting to binge content of mine, this is the place that you can be looking for that content. It is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. There's a lot of contrast in my video right now. There's like the dark, dark lines and the bright, bright. But it's finally a sunny day and I'm just doing all of my lives, all of my content development, everything in these spaces and places that have so much light and are so, so beautiful. So before we jump into this video, as always, if you want to see more content from me, if you like what you watched today, definitely remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share with a friend that might be inspired or impacted by it. And if none of those things apply and you're not really into this content, that's okay too. Enjoy it while you're here. And I'm grateful for any of you who watch this live, who watch this after the fact, because there may be even one thing from this content that inspires you, that moves you forward, that helps you assess and design your own routines in your life. So first and foremost, why do routines matter so much to me? Well, I am 25 years old. I used to have chronic pain, chronic migraines, very, very bad joint pain, some congenital, some chronic. I used to not be able to sleep and get very, very poor sleep, even when I did sleep, and had a lot of struggles. A lot of struggles around maintaining my energy, a lot of struggles around my mental state, a lot of struggles even around my emotional state, obviously, because our emotions and our mind and our physical body are all very, very interconnected. And when we're not sleeping well and we don't have any kind of consistency in our life, we often end up to deteriorate in some ways. And so I lived a life that was very volatile. It was ever changing, highs, lows, lots of lows, and everything in between. And for a very long time, I kept most of my struggles to myself because I was always the smiley, happy girl. And I bought into the story that people didn't know what to do with the more melancholy version of me. And so then I ended up having depression that was very much like my body was so traumatized by all of the pain and the lack of sleep that it just, as it was healing, it just had to take a break. And my mental state was in shambles. Now, some of you know the story, and some of you have known me for a very long time, and you've never heard the story, at least in the way that I'm sharing. And it's because I've learned more and more, especially over the last few weeks, that people need to hear the real versions of our stories. Because if they're not hearing the real versions of our stories, all of the details, I get that we get to have some discretion. We get to understand what we're putting out there. We get to share it with people who are relevant. Absolutely. But if people are not getting a real, full, honest grasp of who we are as real human beings and the struggles that we've truly faced, then how impactful can we really be? What's the change that we can really create if we're putting these masks on or pretending everything's fine when it's not? So I'm sharing my story more and more, and will continue to be sharing my story more and more consistently here on this channel and everywhere in my life, because I have learned so much from the biggest struggles in my life. I'm so grateful to God for giving me these experiences, even though they were so difficult, because I have a level of understanding about my body that I never had before. I have a relationship with my body that now I actually listen instead of avoiding or ignoring. And so it's this opportunity to notice where we are avoiding and what that avoidance is actually about. So we're going to talk some about that. I know my shadows are, I might have to move honestly because the shadows, we're going into a shadow. Um, I think I'm going to be moving. So as I move, I'm going to not get stuck. Look at the sun. I'm going to move here. Okay. We're moving gracefully, but we are moving. Okay. So, as I was struggling a lot with this situation that I was in where I was having a lot of pain, I was in a lot of my mental state was not great, all of these things. I mostly kept it to myself. And there's a lot of things that didn't work about keeping it to myself. And so eventually when I started talking to people about it, they were like, "No, this is like your body is in like distress. Like we get to work on this." Some of the solutions were helpful as a temporary solution, like medication or um yeah, antidepressants, massage, different things. Some of those things I still do. I'm not on any medications, but I still do massage sometimes. My back was a little bit sore the last couple of days, and so I got to have my sister give me some back massage, and that really, really helped on just like calming all my muscles down. But what I'll say is routines are actually the thing that got me from a place of like, I'm in so much distress to coming to this place where I could be like, huh, I'm calm. My body is not in like attacking mode yet or anymore. This is why it matters so much to me because I know what it's like to live a life in complete distress, in pain and strain and ache and chronic and acute and all of the words, all of the descriptors. And so you may not be in that heightened of a situation. You may just be like, I'm not getting that great of sleep. Or, I really know that I could wake up earlier in the morning and actually feel better. Or I would love to just be more productive. I'd love to have more energy during the day. And I know that some of that has to do with the fact that maybe I'm sleeping too much. All of those things are absolutely perfect. I meet you where you're at. Today, we're going to talk about the number one thing to remember about designing a creative morning routine. And it is probably not going to be the thing that you expect. We're going to dive into this more. And uh, if you want some really, really valuable, what are your next steps that's absolutely free to you, then watch till the very end of this video because I'm going to drop something that I just decided like 2 minutes before I went live. I'm like, you know what? I am going to give them this thing. Like, what in the world? So watch that till the very end. So, what is the number one thing to remember about designing a creative morning routine? I'm going to give you the answer in short, and then I'm going to close down Facebook. And then I'm going to give you it to you first, and then we're going to dive deeper into it. So, the number one thing that I've had to remember around designing my morning routine and really designing any kind of routine is to first and foremost understand that I am an ever changing human being, which means that my routines will change. If I am in a relationship with my routine so that it can never change, so that the commitment is conditional and dependent off of that thing needing to look the same every day, I will absolutely never win. I will absolutely never win. A lot of the routine content that I see being binged out in the world is content, and I get it. Like, I have done it myself. A lot of that content is about do this thing every single day in the same way. And if you miss one day, then you start over, aka 75 hard. Not bashing any of you people who do 75 hard, go for you. Absolutely amazing. And also, we get to be really, really present and understand that our body is an ever changing thing, especially as women. We go through seasons and cycles. And so, our body needs something different depending on the day, depending on our stress level, our energy level, our creativity level. All of these things deeply, deeply impact what it is that we're going to need for the day. So, First off, being able to create routines that invite change, that invite a sense of normalcy and consistency, but also that invite some customization and change is going to be critical. There are things that you may do every single day, but the sheer doing it the same every day is what supports you. Amen. Hallelujah. There may be lots of things that you do one time that you really enjoyed. Maybe you do it 5 times, but then you try to do it the 10th time and you're like, this doesn't support me anymore. And why are we surprised? Because we're a human being. We get to understand that we are changing. Therefore, our routines and the things that support us will change as well. So, in the last 25 years of being alive, my body, the seasons and cycles that I've been in, have all changed dramatically. And so, it's understanding that through all of those changes, what supports me is going to change with it. Sometimes they're similar, they're little tweaks. Sometimes they're bigger tweaks. Sometimes they're completely reinventing the wheel. I've been through all of those seasons and cycles, and now I finally understand that that's not me being, like, ungrounded or not clear. That's me and my body and my mind and my emotions changing. Right now, what supports me didn't support me a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. So the most important thing for you to remember as you are creating your own morning routine in particular is that your body is going to need different things depending on the day. So, what does this actually look like? Let me model it for you. I do my best to wake up at 4:45 in the morning. Some of you are like, you do what? The truth is, I don't wake up at 4:45 every morning. Some days I need more sleep. And so I sleep in until like 4:45. Some days I wake up at 4:45, I mean 4:45, and I'm like, I'm awake, I'm alive, let's go. And I have a whole routine that I do. I know that when I wake up that early, I know exactly what it is that I'll be doing that will support me. And most of the time, when I get up that early, by the time I hit breakfast, I'm like ready to go. Those are like my most productive days because I've created all of the space to be in my quiet time, to be in my prayer time, to be in my Bible time, to be in my playtime, my journaling time, my creation time, all before I've even had breakfast. Some days I don't wake up at that time. And I remember when I first started really getting consistent at waking up 4:45, I would beat myself up on the days that I didn't wake up at that time because I was like, "Man, I missed a day. Ugh." And I saw what my body was communicating is, "I need more sleep." I saw that as a weakness or a failure to do the thing that I said I was committed to doing. And the reality is my body was craving something, was asking for something that I really needed, which was more sleep, more rest, more, mental relaxation. And so it was that beautiful reminder for me as I finally got present to how I was in this cycle of beating myself up, but my body was in the cycle of I need this, I need this. Stop like withholding this from me. And realized, oh, okay, wow. I actually can absolutely wake up early on the mornings that I'm ready to wake up. A lot of times I can actually, like, honestly, I can tell you 9 out of 10 times the night before if I will wake up at 4:45 in the morning and get up and do my journaling time, my quiet time, my prayer time. Otherwise, I do it after breakfast. It always gets done. It just depends on when it gets done, which is the second point we'll jump into here in just a minute. But truly, like, when I realized that, oh, my body just needs some extra sleep sometimes, I stopped pushing and I started just listening. And it meant two things. One, I had far more energy. Two, when I did actually wake up early in the morning, it was so refreshing and amazing. And it was like a choice and it was felt amazing. And three, when I would sleep in, I would also feel really good. I gave my body what it needed. It needed more rest. Thank you for giving me more rest. Thank you for letting me sleep. And now I'm going to get started with my day. This second point that we're talking about, which is like, oh my goodness, it's already gone. I should have written it down. I'll circle back around. One of the things that I have learned a lot in the last several months of implementing routines, redesigning, restructuring is that in these seasons, we need more and we need less of certain things. And so it's literally being able to have that grace and compassion to understand what it is that our body actually needs. Most of us are so numbed out by noise that we can't even hear what it is that our body actually needs, whether it's nutritionally or physically, mentally, emotionally. We tend to ignore or avoid or see our aches and pains as a weakness, but really God has designed our bodies to be so incredible that our bodies are literally communicating, I need more of this. I need less of this. I need you to listen. I need you to rest. I need you to exercise and move me. I need you to take care of me. I need you to nourish me. Moms are especially my favorite to support with this because oftentimes they are the ones that have the most stories and reasons for not taking care of themselves. Some of them are valid and real and raw, and I get it. And often, moms, you are the most important to be taking care of yourself because you have little ones around you who are watching everything you do and are watching every way that you respond and react and handle situations. They watch when you back down and treat yourself as like dismissed and like where you don't actually take care of yourself or you don't eat right or you don't sleep well and then say it's on them. Oh, I have a little baby and I don't sleep well. And so, like, they're watching, listening, picking up on all of this. And so, not only is it incredibly important for you as a caregiver, but it is also really important because the next generation is learning from our generation. The next generation is learning from you, whether you're the grandma, the mom, or the sister, or you are the next generation. And so, it's just that opportunity to pause and notice where is our come from? And are we coming from compassion and the inevitability of understanding that these things are going to change? Or are we coming from, I am doing it because I said I was going to do it? I'm doing it because I'm committed to doing it. Can't tell you how many people I've heard that like stay together in relationships. They stay together dating, or, someone gets engaged and then they go through with the wedding and they didn't really love this person and they knew it, but they did it because of an obligation to do it because they said they were going to. And I just, makes me so sad because it's like, can we just pause and actually be honest and be real and say what it is that we want to say and understand that we're all changing? And that means from day to day, our decisions may change. Now, you may be asking, like, okay, Katie, like I'm a 75 hard junkie. Like, where does commitment and being my word and being an integrity fit into everything you're talking about? Well, let me tell you. For me, I'll share for me and then I'll mirror it back to you. So for me, what's really important is that I do the thing I said I was going to do, even if it didn't look the way I ideally wanted it to look. So, for example, I journal every day. I have my quiet time with my Bible and prayer time. I have all of that every day. I get at least 8 hours of sleep every day. If I don't get that during the night, then generally I need to take a nap during the day. Okay, that's fine. If I know some of you are like, 8 hours of sleep, that's crazy. I am creating a lot of things during the day. I get to sleep a lot. I always tease that I'm like catching up from the years that I had insomnia. So the other thing that I notice a lot is like if I do journaling before breakfast, awesome. If I don't, then I do it after. So I always have that time to be able to set myself up in a way where I can be at rest. I can do the things that are really important to me that matter. And whether it looks like I thought it was going to look or it looks different, that's okay. It's about understanding that things are going to change. And if our commitment is dependent on how all of the factors look, then we're going to disappoint ourselves. We're going to mess up and we're going to feel that tug and pull of like, I need to do it because it looks this way. If we can set things up in a way where that's actually so incredibly exciting because we can win even if it didn't look exactly the way we thought it was going to look, that's absolutely exciting and inspiring and sustainable. So understand things are going to change. And this is the most important thing I've learned from building a creative morning routine and building routines in general. So if this was supportive to you in these 20 minutes on this live, definitely subscribe. Remember to do that. But before you leave, I have a really exciting gift that I want to give you that I was thinking about right before I jumped on this live. And it's something that's absolutely free to you. You don't have to pay anything to get it. But I actually did a hour and 20-minute in-depth, probably the most in-depth training I've ever done on routines, practices, and habit building. And literally, I want to gift it to you. It's got a workbook with it. It's got chapters so that you can figure out exactly where you are in the training. Has prompts and questions and design time within it built into it. It is such an incredible, incredible training. So if you want this, all you have to do is go over to my Instagram. My link to my Instagram is down in the description of this video. Go to my Instagram, make me a friend. You don't have to make me a friend. If you like my content, make me a friend. And then just DM me and ask for the habit building training. Just let me know you came from the YouTube video and you love, love, love the training. I will literally send you the link. Like, you don't even have to sign up for anything. You don't have to opt into anything. Like, literally, I'm just going to send you the link and be like, have an amazing time watching it. Let me know what you learned. It's going to be an incredible, incredible experience. So if you want a deeper dive on routine builds and you want a deeper dive on like questions and what to actually like ground into around your why and what you're creating and what you're up to, that is such an in-depth, incredible training. And I definitely, definitely want to gift it to those of you who it would be really valuable for. So I love you all. Have an amazing, amazing day. And I will see you on the next one.